Judge Sonia Sotomayor faces tough questions. Some of the GOP's most prominent voices are accusing Judge Sotomayor of being a racist.
Former House Speaker Gingrich has called this racism. Rush Limbaugh, the conservative radio talk show host, called it reverse racism.
Are Rush and Newt making it a lot harder by using language like that?
Look, those of us who have a vote in this process are the ones who are studying this nomination. We've got a country full of people with their opinions, many of whom have big audiences, and they're certainly entitled to their opinions.
Would it be best that language like racist not be used? Would it be better that they choose their words more carefully?
Look, I've got a big job to do dealing with 40 Senate Republicans and trying to advance the nation's agenda. I've got better things to do than be the speech police over people who are going to have their views about a very important appointment, which is an appointment to the United States Supreme Court. So I'm not going to get into policing everybody's speech. The important thing here is to look at the nominee, her qualifications.
Can I read into that, though, that you do not agree? You would not label?
It is certainly not my view. My view is we ought to take a look at this nominee's qualifications.
What she said is that based on her life experiences, that she thought a Latino woman, somebody with her background, would be a better judge than a guy like me, a white guy from South Carolina. And it is troubling, and it's inappropriate, and I hope she'll apologize.
Newt Gingrich says that she's a racist. Rush Limbaugh compares her to former Klansman David Duke. Are they right?
No, they interject themselves in the debate. They got an audience to entertain, and Newt's a political commentator. I'm a United States Senator. But I do know this. That statement is not about talking about her life experiences. It's getting from her life experiences a superiority based on those experiences versus somebody else in society. And I don't want that kind of person being a judge in my case, but I don't think she's a racist. I think she should be proud of what she's accomplished in life. But to lead to the conclusion that all the hardship she has gone through makes her better than me is inappropriate.
Calling her racist, a reverse racist, comparing her to David Duke. Do you think that's appropriate?
I don't think I'm going to use any such words as that. I read her speech. I'm troubled by her speech. I think she has an opportunity to explain that, and I don't think that I'm going to use such loaded words. People on the outside can say what they choose to say.
But do you make a judgment about them? Do you think they're appropriate?
I don't think those are words that I would use, and I don't think they would not be words I would use. What we need to focus on.
Do you
is
think she's a racist? Do you think she's a racist?
I think that she is a person who believes that her background can influence her decision. That's what troubles me. I would not use those words.
You would not use those words because you don't believe them?
I don't think that's an appropriate description of her.
Do you think that conservatives should stop using those words to describe her?
I would prefer that they not. But people have a free right to speak and say what they want and make the analogies that they want. This is an important thing. We should not demagogue race. It's an important issue in our culture and our country. We need to handle it with respect that it deserves and the care that it deserves.
What do you think of Newt Gingrich and Rush Limbaugh calling her a racist?
Well, I disagree with them. I think this is a process where you have an individual who's intelligent, well-educated, with an extensive record. She deserves a full and fair hearing, and I listened to the prior senators on your show. They intend to give her that.
Do you think Republicans ought to stop calling her a racist?
I don't know of Republicans in the Senate who have ever, excuse me, called her a racist. And by the way, let me just
I said Republicans, not Republicans in the Senate.
Well, our job, I hope our job is a little bit like we're insisting for judges, and that is we look at the facts, we examine the situation, then we make our decisions.
You do not think she is a racist, do you, Senator Kyle, or do you?
Bob, I'm not going to get drawn into characterizations before I've even met her. I'll be meeting her on Tuesday.
Let me say one thing about this epithet of a racist. I think that's an absolutely terrible thing to throw around. Based on that statement, that one word, better than, to call someone a racist, I think is just terrible. And I would hope that Republicans would not do this, because this does not add any light to the debate. It only adds a kind of visceral and terrible heat, and it really isn't the right thing to do.